Thank you, Jean. Next on the agenda is Mr. Fred Amato, who will be the moderator this evening.
It's been a few years since we've done this here before, and it's nice to see the good turnout that we have here, because we do have a lot of candidates coming here, some important races that you need to know where they stand on some of the issues here. I'd like to ask all those with cell phones, if you could please either put them on vibrate or turn them off. It'd be very disturbing to have it go off, and I'd have to be staring at you and then embarrassing you, so please do that. As you see here, we had sheets with questions on them, that you put questions on them. If you haven't filled one out yet, please do so. If you need a pen or something, or if you need a sheet, just raise your hand, and we have people at the back that will come and take your, give you the card or pick up your questions. The reason why we're doing the questionnaire type of thing is because some of the meetings have gotten out of hand with trying to do it other ways, and we think this will be the most fair for everyone. And what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to have each candidate answer 2 or 3 questions depending on the time frame we have. There'll be no direct questions from the floor to the candidates. Many of them will be here after. We hope that you can stay and get a chance to talk to them personally, and also pick up their literature, which is on the back table there. And please make sure you get out to vote on November 3rd. First Tuesday after the first Monday every year. But I need a calendar in front of me to do that. First Tuesday after the first Monday. Okay, remember that. Each candidate will have 5 minutes to speak, and we're bringing them up in groups. Like we have now the county executive candidates that are running. What we'll do is each one will have a chance to speak. The order will be taken from the ballot box. The ballot box, when they go to vote, well, it's not a ballot, it's a paper ballot. It has the parties on there. The top party since the last gubernatorial race, which is Democrat, is the Democrat. So that'll be the first speaker. Next one in line was Republican, and then if there's another candidate here, Green Party or whatever we have here tonight, we will make sure that they are the third speaker. When we go to the second question, we will reverse the order. And if we got a chance for a third question, we will go back and start at the top again. So we're trying to be as fair as we can, and hopefully we can ask as many questions as we have. They're summarizing them. If 2 or 3 people have the same question, we'll just have that one question. They will kind of summarize what it might be, because everybody may have something close, but it's better to take all. If there's 4 questions that are all the same, we'll just ask for one question. As I said before, candidates for each office will be up here in a group, and the next group will be Family Court, District Attorney, City Council in Northwest, and then we'll go through the county legislators. We have several of them. Of course, tonight, unfortunately, happens to be their regular meeting schedule, which I guess we have to be to blame for not really checking on that, so I apologize for that. They all want to be here. They're going to try to be here. Some of them may even leave early from their meeting. If they don't need their vote, maybe they'll get out early, I don't know. But no one likes to miss a vote. I know that when I was in the legislature. So we do hope to have them here, and we'd like to make sure that they can present their story to you. The question sorters are in the back, so if anybody has questions that they wrote out and you want to turn them in, raise your hand and they'll come to get them. We have one over here. The last day to register to vote was October 9th, so if you haven't done that yet, you're still welcome to stay, even though you can't vote this year. But hopefully next year you'll get vote. You'll vote, or you'll register so you can vote. So right now, I'm going to ask our first candidate, Sandy Frankel, running on their Democratic Working Families Party, and this is for a 4-year term with a 12-year limit. Is that right? Okay. Sometimes I can't remember all the facts about how long you're running, but so Sandy Frankel will be our first speaker.
Good evening, everyone. I'm delighted to be here, and I want to thank the Charlotte Community Association for inviting us and bringing all of us together here tonight to talk about issues that are important to all of us. To give you a little bit of background about myself, I grew up in Miami Beach, Florida, when Florida was a segregated state. And I saw firsthand the terrible impact of those policies. Same when I attended college in Louisiana. And that experience, as well as my participating in civil rights activities like sit-ins at the Woolworths counter or on city buses, instilled in me a passion for public service as a means of ensuring that everyone had equal rights, equal treatment under the law, and the ability to pursue their dreams without the obstacles of racism and discrimination. And that's been part of my life. I have been married to my husband for 51 years. We have 3 grown children, and we are blessed with 9 grandchildren. Our kids live in Israel, Poughkeepsie, and Colorado. I wish they were here when they started their careers. There weren't the jobs for them here. I want jobs to be here for all of our children, and that's an important part of why I'm running for county executive, because we have great assets here, we have a wonderful community and opportunities for tremendous economic development and growth, in part related to photonics, but we also have the food industry, healthcare, arts and culture, tremendous natural resources, including an abundance, as you well know here, fresh water. And that is going to be something that will stimulate our economic growth and create jobs of all types in this community at all levels, and provide hope and opportunity and help to move people out of the generational cycle of poverty. To do that, we have to ensure that families who are income eligible have access to child care and early education, because we know that when kids have child care, they succeed in school, they have better opportunity for going on to college or the career of their choice, and it keeps parents in the workforce and keeps them more productive so that they can improve their lives. The county practice of cutting funding for child care is frankly hypocritical, because while they speak about the importance of family and the importance of creating jobs, that single action over the last couple of years has kept people out of the workforce and has hurt children, hurt their parents, hurt families. So I'm going to reverse that and ensure that income-eligible families have the opportunity for a brighter future. As supervisor of the town of Brighton, where I was the elected executive for 20 years, with vision, with leadership, and with a solid base of successful experience, I have the skills and the knowledge to turn around Monroe County. I inherited a major financial mess from our Republican predecessors, made the hard decisions, and then went on to cut property taxes 5 times and build a new library, create a townwide park system, and improve infrastructure that had been long neglected. And we earned a Moody's credit rating upgrade, a high-level upgrade to AA2, compared with the county's low credit rating of Baa1, and the worst fiscal condition of any county in New York State. So as I look at the future, I've got the skills. I'm the only candidate with the elected executive experience, vision, leadership, and the ability to turn this county around. We do it together. We'd never do this by ourselves. So with great resources in this community, bringing people together, we will have a bright future. It's time for a new direction. We need to change the current administration and move on so that we can, in fact, ensure that all of our people have the ability to have good jobs, families have a better quality of life, and I look forward to answering your questions. Thank you so much.
Right on time, 5 minutes, great. I forgot to tell the candidates, we do have a timekeeper up here. Donna's going to do a timekeeping. And she will show the time that you have left there. So when she gets there, when you get to that last 15 seconds, please summarize so that I don't have to get up and be brutal. Our next candidate is Cheryl D'Onofrio. She's running on the Republican, Conservative, and Independence Party line. And Cheryl, we welcome you here tonight.
Well, good evening, everyone. I am thrilled and honored to be here tonight, and I thank the Charlotte Association for holding this important forum. It sure does look a lot different from Concerts by the Shore, and I want to thank the Carozzi's and other volunteers for all the good work that they do all year long. Okay, so Monroe County is our home. It's the place where I was raised. It's the place where my husband and I, of 31 years, have raised our children as well. We have 3 children, Patrick, Russell, and Jennifer. I'm also the proud mother of 2 grandchildren, ages 3 and 1, 2 little beautiful little girls. I think it's so important that we have the opportunity today to talk about what is important to all of us. We all want our families to do well right here at home in Monroe County. Tonight, I am asking for your support as I seek the office of Monroe County Executive. I'm running for County Executive to ensure that every child, every family, every business in this community has the opportunity to succeed and build a stronger future together right here in our home of Monroe County. As County Executive, I will lead a county government that always respects taxpayers. I will not raise county property taxes. Our families can't afford it, and our community shouldn't tolerate it. Under my leadership, we will create and protect jobs and insist that our county government is the most ethical and transparent government in the nation. For my 17 years as a practicing attorney and business owner, which I did before becoming county clerk, and over the last 11 years as your Monroe County clerk, I know that I have the experience and knowledge necessary to deliver results for taxpayers, and I've done so. In fact, my office has returned over $30 million to the county's general fund to help keep property taxes stable. I've demonstrated that when we deliver positive results, we can position our community for greater opportunity and growth for all. With your support, I will bring my experience, vision, and record of results to the Monroe County Executive's office. I am honored to be endorsed by the Rochester Business Alliance, the Rochester Police Locust Club, and all 3 county sheriff's department units. I have always fought for what's right, and I am proud that each and every one of you in this community has stood with me. I truly believe that our very best days and our best opportunities are ahead of us. I would be most honored to receive your continued support as I seek the office of Monroe County Executive. Thank you for your time and consideration tonight, and I would be happy to entertain questions. But before I step down, I have to say a special hello to my former neighbor, Bob Stevenson. I have to let you know, people always ask me what got you interested in government, and I will tell you that for many years, Bob Stevenson and I lived across the street from one another, and he was one heck of a neighbor and one great representative of our city. So Bob, thank you for all of your contributions.
We haven't heard back from this candidate, but he's running under the Green Party, Rashid Barnabas. He's not here, is he? Okay, we're going to go to the questions. There's 10 of them here. We're going to try to get at least 3 of them in if we can. This one, the first one here, may answer some of the other questions that will be coming up. And we're going to start, of course, with the Democrat, Sandy Franco. What will change under your direction? That'll take everything. There you go. It's up to you. Yeah, you should stand up. 1 minute, yes.
The first thing that will change is the restoration of integrity to county government. Not only will I institute an independent bipartisan office of public integrity, but I will restore integrity in general, both financially and throughout the organization. As we all know, this administration has been rife with scandals, corruption, waste of public dollars, mismanagement. That's going to change. For 20 years, I have an impeccable record of running a government that is absolutely ethical and with high integrity, and we need to change this core administration if we're going to see real change. So that's one thing that I would do. The other is to reverse the problems that we've inherited financially with regard to the abuses that have resulted in the waste of tax dollars. So I will keep property taxes flat, the tax rate flat, but I will also eliminate the expenses that are unnecessary and reprioritize. So, thank you.
Well, thank you to the thoughtful question that came from the audience. When I announced my candidacy back in January of this year, I set forth a forward-looking integrity agenda. I want to talk about that for a few minutes, if you don't mind. Before I set forth that agenda, I would like to say that each of us is judged by what we have done and what our reputation is. And I think as a separately elected official here in Monroe County, you've come to know me very well, and I really do appreciate the relationship that I have with the voters and the residents here in Monroe County. So the three-part forward-looking integrity agenda. I will be eliminating all LDCs. I will be creating an Office of Public Integrity, and I will certainly have all county contracts put online so that you can have the information that at your fingertips so you know where your county tax dollars are being spent, under what contracts, so you can do that from the convenience of your home. This will ensure the most transparent, ethical government in the nation, and that is my pledge to you. Thank you for that great question.
Hey there, you're going to be the first speaker. Here's the question to both candidates. Do you support the New York State SAFE Act? And if not, why not?
Well, I'll tell you, I wish I had more than, what is it, a minute? Are you timing already? Okay, so the New York SAFE Act, I'm the county clerk, as everybody knows, and the New York SAFE Act came into being during my administration as county clerk. What I will say about the SAFE Act is that I am not in favor of any kind of legislation that is passed in the darkness of night. And I think that government that works best is one that includes all people and their ideas. And so the problem with the SAFE Act is that there was no input from those who had best information on how to go forward to ensure that illegal guns are kept off the street. I am a supporter of the Second Amendment, but I will tell you that the problem is illegal guns on the street. We need to make sure that we get those illegal guns off the street, and those who commit crime are held accountable. That is something that we need to embrace with our city government, with our county government, with our police force, with our sheriff's department. Keep those illegal guns off the street. Make sure that we have personal accountability and responsibility as well. Thank you for the question.
You may be surprised to know that we agree. The fact is that we do need to keep illegal guns off the streets, and that's really where the problem lies. One of the things that I have proposed, and I will tell you that I've been endorsed by the Monroe County Law Enforcement Federation, and I'm proud of that because I've worked with our police departments over the years with a very strong relationship in ensuring the safety and security of our communities. With regard to this SAFE Act, we need to take steps to ensure that background checks are done, but we also have to put in place the requirement that even when guns are transferred, gun locks are provided. And that will help to protect when guns are stolen, that they are harder to use, and that when we have our kids, 50% of children who bring guns to school and do violence have gotten their guns from their home. So gun locks are critically important. We also have to work more closely with the Attorney General's office to increase the gun buyback program so that it happens more frequently and is more accessible throughout the county. And I think those are two among many other measures of my anti-violence plan that I think will make a positive difference. Thank you.
Okay, there's a couple questions here that are basically the same, so I'm putting them together here. The money trickles down from the federal and state, and there's many mandates that are hurting us, and I know we've heard that for years and years and years, even when I was in the legislature. And, what can we do to either have some reimbursement, or how do we stop those mandates that really are a burden to all governments below the state level?
Thank you. State mandates do provide, in certain circumstances, important regulations that help to keep our communities safer and things functioning in an effective way. But there are mandates that are unfair. New York State is one of only 2 states in this nation that requires local governments to cover the cost of Medicaid. And that's a huge burden on the community. There are many different types of mandates. Some are essential, some are required but unfunded, and some are not actually mandates but are claimed to be mandates. The county claims 85% of its budget is mandated. That's an exaggerated number, but the fact is it's still a high cost, and I have a great relationship with our county, with our state legislators and federal legislators, and we'll work with them to reduce mandates. We've all got to work together and advocate for our community right here.
So state mandates, unfunded mandates, is an issue all across New York State. And I will tell you that as county clerk, over at least half a dozen years, I have been a member of the New York State Association of Counties Taxation and Finance Committee. And what that committee is comprised of are county executives and county leaders from throughout the state of New York. And I will tell you that at every meeting that we attend, this is the #1 topic. Unfunded mandates, it's across the board. And the problem starts right at the top. The problem starts with the state of New York spending too much. And, you know, we need to take a good look at that. You know, when I look at spending, it's just like how your families look at spending. You have so much money and you have to allocate it appropriately. What I think we need to do is, when we fund something, we have to make sure that we are getting outcomes. So when we fund a program, we fund a service, I think we need to look at the outcomes that are being promised to ensure that our tax dollars are used in the best way. I also believe very strongly that we need to stand shoulder to shoulder, the mayor, the county executive, to make sure that we fight for our fair share from the state, and that upstate New York, Rochester, New York, Monroe County is not ignored by our state and federal partners. Thank you for the great question.
I'm going to go with one more question, more than I anticipated, but this is an important race, so we're going to squeeze this one in here too. How will you work to address the economic disparity between the towns and the cities, and how would you address some of the violence that we have in this community, and do you have a plan or strategy? And I know going through your plan and strategy may take more than a minute, but if you could kind of summarize it, and if you've got literature or your website that answers that in more detail, I think they would appreciate it. Who was first last time? I think you're up now. Okay.
Well, as I said before, I really believe that the well-being of our families is tied to the well-being of their jobs. You know, when we have jobs and people are going to work, families do better, people do better, there's more opportunity. We need to ensure that we have economic opportunity for everybody here in Monroe County. And in order to do that, it's a complicated situation. I know that childcare is at the center of many people's minds right now, and I will tell you that under my administration, I will seek to have a sliding scale payment for childcare so that we can ensure that working moms and dads can continue to work and do better and to provide for their families. And I think that this is a good opportunity to help families do better for themselves and for their children as well. You know, with respect to violence, I have talked to the mayor about that issue as well, and I think that as a community we need to look at the issue of violence. But you know what? I really do believe it comes back to the family and the faith-based community. I think that we need to ensure that we work with our faith-based community to get families back together, those family units in a cohesive unit, and to ensure that we work with our children to have the right values, the right mindset, and to keep violence off the street. Thank you.
Before I answer the question, I want to go back to the last question for just a moment to observe the fact that every county in New York State does in fact have to abide by all of the mandates that are imposed. And Monroe County is not doing well. Many other counties have managed their finances so that they aren't in the same fiscal stress, the worst fiscal stress of any county in New York State. With regard to poverty and violence, please check out my website, sandyfrankel2015.com, because I have plans in place for job creation, child care, and an anti-violence program. I attended the vigils, churches, sat with families whose children were killed in the recent summer of violence. I understand the terrible impact on families, and I have a plan that will address that, and that means working with the city, with their suburbs. Poverty is not limited just to the city. 100,000 people in Monroe County live in poverty. 60,000 in the city, 40,000 in the suburbs. And we have to come together because it's growing the fastest in the suburbs. And we've got to ensure that we've got job opportunities, training and retraining for people who are unemployed and underemployed so that they can get the skills that they need for vacant job positions that exist today in our own community, and to prepare for the future jobs that will be coming with the investments from the Photonics Hub and hopefully from the Upstate Revitalization Initiative. I'm excited about the opportunity to reduce poverty and to reduce violence, because I know that by working together we can do that. I did it in Brighton, and I want to do that, and we'll be able to do that in Monroe County. Thank you.
I want to thank both our candidates for being here tonight and answering questions that were really more than we had planned on asking you, but wish we could ask the other three that we have here, but maybe if you could stick around, maybe they can get their answers to the questions. So I ask you to find a seat and enjoy the rest of the evening. You can relax a little bit.